Alright, how we doing, everybody? Hope everyone's well. Thought I'd come back on for a bit and see if it'll push me out this time. So, yeah, it's just going a bit slow. So I just uploaded a short and I've come back on. See if people come in here. No guarantees though, but oh well. But yeah, I was just talking about things like what is it? What was it? What was I talking about? Green tea. I was talking about. Yeah, green tea. Green tea can be have some beneficial effects. So yeah. Anyway, I hope everyone's doing well tonight. Hi, Kyle. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Thank you for the like. I did all of that. Okay, thank you. Um, yeah, I'm doing fine. Thank you. So I was just looking now at coconut sugar. So So it's like an alternative to regular sugar, and it's said to be better for some people. So yeah, it contains inulin, which is a type of soluble fiber that can help slow glucose absorption and it support gut health. Says, however, the amount is minimal, and the nutritional benefits of consuming large quantities are outweighed by its high sugar and calorie content. So you would want to kind of have it in moderation. But it says here that it's unlikely significant due to, yeah, but uh, it's probably better for you than table sugar, though, I guess. Hi, Oikers 2000, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Welcome in here. Thank you for joining me tonight. Um, let's see what the glycemic index. Hello, Renata. How you doing? Glycemic index of coconut sugar. It says here 35, but then some say it's around 54. Yeah, welcome. If you're new here, please subscribe to the channel. So 54 is still better than like table sugar and stuff. It's saying here coconut sugar's average GI rating is 50 to 54. It says similar to white sugar's GI, but I thought I heard it was 65 for white sugar. Um, but it says a lower glycemic index. I don't know. So there's some mix of things It's just a thing that YouTube's doing. It's like kind of rating people or something. Yeah, I do workouts, Kyle. Yeah, I've just been posting some of that stuff. So yeah, people have been going on about deadlift form and stuff, but I'm 30 years old. How you doing? I mean, personally, that's just how I do it. But I mean, people are saying it's dangerous, but I'm like, if you do it like how Jack's Fit does it, it's probably dangerous. But if you compare the way I do it to his, I don't think it's that extreme. So I was showing like an example. So when you're doing the deadlift, like it's kind of okay to have some rounding where you're kind of like doing say like this. It's when you're doing like this kind of stuff that is where it gets bad. And when you're doing shit like that, you can see the lumbar spine is bent. That's not good. But some rounding of the upper back is kind of it can help you to lift more weight. So if your goal is to try and lift as much as you can, then some rounding of the upper back is necessary, but I don't see much rounding of the lower back, but I don't know. It's hard to really tell exactly unless I've got my shirt off. But yeah. Anyway, it was AFK. All right, fair enough. But there's been some conflicting information on deadlifts and on form things like that. But where some people say um, strict form only you have to have a neutral spine. Um, but I mean, the whole what is that? Nearly 3.65K. That's crazy, isn't it? The channel's been growing pretty fast, but yeah, mainly it's from shorts and stuff. But yeah, spine like not too much rounding is yeah. No, you shouldn't round it too much, but like if you're trying to do powerlifting and stuff, um, then like I said, some rounding would be probably even necessary at a certain point if you're trying to max out down to like it giving you a better leverage, rounding of the upper back at least, but not you shouldn't be rounding the lower back. From what I understand, that can put pressure on it and just like can cause strain, and then things can pop. Like you can end up with a herniated disc and stuff like that. Yeah, you don't want things like that to happen. So yeah, so that's something people have got to be a bit careful of, really. When some people will just go and then they just not do things properly, but yeah, so we have to be mindful of that. I was actually wearing like these running shoes, and someone called me out on it and said, "Excuse me, the shoes that you're wearing, I've made the same mistake before but I think you should try and use flat shoes." So I actually did that today, and because he was saying it could be dangerous at like heavy weights, because you could see that I was starting to put the weight up and up, and he was like getting a bit concerned, that saying that if I keep going like that, it could lead to injuries. So yeah, so I kind of took that on board, and I tried using my other trainers, and I was also looking into it, and it might help with stability as well and force production, because when you're using these sort of shoes, you're not able to really put as much force down. Um, so yeah, it's just might be worth doing these things to just to make things more efficient, or just for safety reasons, basically, because you don't want to end up messing your back up, because it can really be debilitating if you end up messing your back up, can't it? Well, what happened to Ronnie Coleman? You know, you definitely don't want that to happen, do you? So So, yeah, we just have to just be careful of like injuries and things with like heavy weights and things. So yeah, so you just have to be mindful of that. Yeah. Anyway, so I don't know if you've seen Jack's fit before, but he's just like his form is like not good. They were joke and they like calling it like a spine lift because like what would happen, right? He's doing this basically. Like I'll show you what I mean. He's basically doing this. So he'll go down, pick them up, pick it up, and then he'll do this. So it's not really like optimal to be doing that, really, is it? Anyway, so yeah, I guess you don't really know any better, but you'd think that whoever's like with him would probably like say to him, "Hey, maybe this is not the best way to do it." But you got the person there just kind of, they're probably just laughing at him. They're probably hoping that he has some injury. I don't know. I feel like there's some people out there that are just kind of, I don't know, just laughing at him. But yeah, hello, Dusty. I know that some people are saying that he's brought it on himself, but I do think he is a bit vulnerable. Yeah, so we can't like blame it all on him, I don't think. Yeah, how are you doing, Dusty? I hope you're well. Welcome in here. Hope you've had a good day today. What are your plans for the days ahead and the weekend? I mean, hopefully you've got something exciting planned for the weekend there or something. What do you all want to talk about tonight? Thank you for the like. Nice one. Yeah, I don't know if I'll be on here much longer, to be honest. Oh, you got a football game? All right. Oh, yeah, good luck with that then. Yeah, yeah. So is that something that you're wanting to take seriously? Like, hello, Richard, how you doing? I'm all right, thank you. How are you doing? So I was just going on about the whole deadlift thing. So I'll show you again. So, like, this was. So people were saying I was doing bad form. Because I was doing this, but there's not really any like bend here. Like people are expecting you to do this, but what that's gonna do is it means I have to bend my legs down more. If there's some bend there, I don't think there's really a problem. But it's when people do shit like this that where the problems happen, where they're bending their spine up like this. That happens with manual lifting when they're like trying to lift up something that's heavy, and then they put their back out. So there's a difference between like that's kind of like hyperextension sort of thing, really, isn't it? Or whatever you call it, or hyper flexed. I mean, it's more like flexed, really. Um, but some argue that being taller it's easier. That some of the best deadlifters are tall. Look at Thor, for example. He's 6'9". He's got the biggest deadlift in the world. Most of the heaviest deadlifters have long legs, but they also have long arms. I think it's the relative. Um, it's relative basically, because longer legs equals more power. So yeah, you might have to move further off the floor, but you also have more power to. There's less relative range of motion going on. Less bending at the hips required to get the same level of to get down to the bar, if you're shorter, you might have to bend the hips more, therefore increasing the strain on that. So I think there's benefits and disadvantages to it being tall with it, but maybe there's advantages as well. But yeah, that take care. You got to remember that yeah, longer legs is equals more muscle. So, but yeah, so I'll probably just keep going with that because it seems like it's an advantage for taller people. But it's just about trying to kind of get it right with the form and stuff. But I do think it has improved. Just try and make sure that my lower back is not bending. Because I think when I first started, I was actually doing that because I seem to be getting a lot of strain around like the spinal erectors, which is like the kind of in the middle of your back, all the way up like your spine. That's where I was getting a lot of strain happening at the beginning, but maybe that was just down to it being a novel stimulus, and I was doing reps and reps and stuff. But I don't know if that was due to bad form, and maybe that's why that was seemed to be getting worked a lot. Because if anything, that seemed to be getting worked more than my legs, which shouldn't really be happening with the deadlift. It should, but it could just have been. I don't know if it was because those parts of my body were not really so used to that. I don't know, but there's a lot of kind of yeah. I just noticed that. Yeah, I don't usually get that anymore when doing deadlifts, but I think my form used to be worse. But yeah, it takes a while to really establish good habits, though. Hello, BGBG. How's it going? Hope you're well tonight. Thank you for the likes, everybody. Hello, just Jessica. Good to see you. How have you been? Yeah, thank you for stopping by. Are you going live again soon? Let me know if you're going live. Are you going live later or anything? Tonight at 6. Oh yeah, what time will that be for me then? Whereabouts are you at in USA? Is it that you're in some part of USA if I remember, or you're in Canada? I don't know, but yeah. I hope everyone's well tonight. ET USA, is that ET? Is that not ET Fallen Home? Is it? Was it Eastern time? Is it? So that's like 5 hours behind me. Is it like 11 p.m. that my time? I'm guessing. Well, anyway, whatever it is, then yeah. Anyway, yeah, 11 my time. Yeah, I should be able to. Hopefully, I can make it for that. But yeah, yeah, you'll be on around that time as well. So I'll just see who's on after I finish this, and yeah. But yeah, what have you been up to anyway? Might do some more working out actually. Maybe I should do some ab training because I've kind of not. I didn't do that today at the gym. Apart from I tried doing this barbell rollout just from the knees, and I don't think I don't know if I'd be able to do it like fully, but yeah. Some people use like the ab wheel rollout, but you can use barbell. So barbell rollout would work as well. I'm guessing it might actually be a bit easier to stabilize, but yeah. But it's like a hyperextension type of thing, isn't it? Just been busy with family. Oh yeah, cool. Yeah, yeah. Hopefully, everything's going well with your family then. But yeah, when you're doing like the Yeah, there's a thing called ab wheel rollout, which is maybe a really good like ab exercise. It's called an anti-extension exercise. So it's all about kind of keeping a neutral spine. It's all about kind of stopping it from extending or something. And yeah, so you could create tension throughout the whole abs, so not just the rectus abdominis, but also the deeper ab muscles like the transverse abdominis, which we don't actually see. But this, I think they said that if you train the transverse abdominis, it helps to push out the visible abs or something. Anyway, thanks for the likes, everybody. Let's have a look at this. Let's see about does trans. Let's say does training transverse abdominis help make rectus abdominis more visible. Says training the transverse abdominis can help make the rectus abdominis appear more visible by flattening the stomach and creating a smaller waistline, but it does not directly increase the size of the rectus abdominis muscle itself. Welcome back, Kyle. The TVA acts like an inner corset, pulling the abdominal wall inward, which makes the midsection look more toned and cinched. Visible six-pack abs are a result of having a low body fat percentage, not the strength of the TVA, which is a deep muscle that isn't visible from the outside. So yeah, it says here about core stability and preventing the rectus abdominis from bulging out when you exercise, which is sometimes an issue with a weak TVA. That's something I think an issue that I've had for quite a while, but I've been trying to address that and improve core stability and yeah. So I'm wondering if whether the transverse abdominis um whether it helps to give you like a six-pack. It says it does not directly, as a job is more superficial. This abdominis muscle is crucial for a tight, toned appearance and a strong core, well developed VX as a corset pulling in the waist and making the overall midsection look smaller and tighter. So I remember there was this thing on what was it called? Pooch belly in people who don't have fat around their belly or not much fat around their belly. But I think some of that could have been down to that could be partly down to that what's it called, pooch belly, transverse abdominis. So let's see. So it says a pooch belly often points to a weak transverse abdominis, the deepest abdominal muscle, which can lead to a protruding lower belly. Strengthening the TVA through targeted exercises can help reduce the bulge by acting like an internal corset. So I've read that before. It says it can help with contribute. Weak core can contribute to poor posture and low back pain. So you might want to try and improve core stability as a way to improve posture, to improve lower back pain problems. So yeah. And then I think there was a thing of like water retention as well. So let's have a look at that on Pooch belly water retention is the common term for ascites in dogs, a serious medical condition where fluid builds up in the abdominal cavity. If there's something that happens in humans or something. Buildup of fluid in the abdomen is a serious medical condition. So, yeah. But that tends to happen with like liver problems and stuff like that, cirrhosis. But I think the best thing to do is like, strong internal abdominal muscles, which can give you a more kind of flattened stomach, as opposed to like a protruding stomach, which can be like, if you've got like bad posture and stuff, that could be, as well, that can be attributed to that in some cases. So doing things like planks and stuff like that, or hollow body holds, like I mentioned about, what was it called? Anti-rotation exercise, not anti, I meant like what's it called? Anti-extension exercises. You're welcome. Anti-extension if when you're doing push-ups, you want to probably keep your back straight. So that's going to help as well. So I've been trying to be a bit more mindful of form. It's been a bit difficult because I used to have quite bad form on the push-ups and people would point that out, but trying to engage the core is a good way to do that. And if you do that, a lot of exercises like push-ups or planks or anything like that, it's going to help to develop those muscles by working them isometrically, which means working it in a sort of just a static hold position. Another one would probably be like if say someone's doing like a front lever or something like that, you're holding a static position in a horizontal position. That's going to help to improve that. Obviously to train the external abdominal muscles, like the ones that are visible, things like crunches or leg raises are probably good. And then obliques, you can do things like side plank raises and stuff like that, or Russian twists. So anyway, but some people say that crunches are bad or something, but I'm like, I don't know why. Maybe for some people they could be a bit bad. I mean, sit-ups are probably not the best exercise, but I think crunches, abdominal crunches are a good exercise for a lot of people to get those abs to pop out more, get them showing more. Of course, being at a low enough body fat percentage is also crucial. But obviously, it depends on genetics and stuff. Some people store a lot of fat in their abdominal, so it's kind of hard for them to see it unless they've got good muscle development there. But but you might be able to see now that we do have some, my abs are showing. So just how do I know all this stuff? Just a lot of stuff that I've learned over the years, watching videos and learning off other people and stuff like that. So cool. It's just my brain's like a sponge, it absorbs a lot of information. That's what I like to do, is just learn, It's kind of like almost like an addiction. It gets to the point where it's like, I like to learn as much as I can. Like I was just learning some stuff about green tea and its health benefits and stuff. Because for some people it might be better than chugging a bunch of caffeine, where it gives you a more sustained release of energy rather than drinking a bunch of coffee to just spike up your energy to then crash. And people end up becoming dependent, and then they end up with shitty sleep, and then they depend even more on caffeine then because their sleep starts to get worse and worse. So they become more and more dependent, you know. So yeah, this is what it is really. But that's what people do. They just like look for these quick fixes, you know. Instead of trying to fix their lifestyle, they look for an easy way out, but they're just cheating themselves by doing that. Hello, ZeoClan593. How you doing tonight? Make sure you subscribe if you're new here, people. If you don't mind. So I could show you an example of a proper push-up. So I've been trying my best with it and stuff, and because what you'll see a lot of people do, especially when they first start out, is they'll do it like this. So their back will be like this, like that, which is not really good. So you want to be like tightening your core up like this. Keep it tight. Like that, so that you can see the difference, right? So those are like, if you do it properly, where you engage the core, it keeps the back straight so it doesn't bend, because that can put more pressure on the lower back, and that can end up fatiguing. And we want to be working our chest and stuff, but yeah, we don't want the lower back to give out, and if you do it too much, it could be putting excessive strain on it. So yeah. Anyway, I hope everyone's doing well. Hello there, Jamie. What are you talking about this stream? Sorry for my late arrival. It's okay. Richard says, got to go driving home, so I didn't know you were still there. Anyway, well, I'll talk to you in a bit. So I'm just talking about proper push-up form and keeping the back straight. I mean, I could try and like take my top off and show it, like, so you can see my back when I'm doing it. But yeah. I'll just give you a quick kind of, you know, there we go. So there's some abs. Yeah. Anyway, show my back as well. Back's been filling out as well. My lats have been getting bigger and stuff, so you can see my lats have gotten wider. Yeah. So I'll show you what I mean, right? So when you get into the position, right? So instead of going like this, some people do that. Tighten up your core. Can you see that? So that's what you want to do, really. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. I would try, but I'm struggling to walk right now, so maybe not. Okay, well, you got to do what you got to do. Show you the flex my biceps, you know. Through my tricep as well. Getting some shape on that as well. All right. Just put my top back on, but yeah, just weighed myself today at the gym. It says I'm nearly 16 stone and just over 100 kilograms. The height of probably about 6'4", so now let's say the average guy at my height is around 93 kilograms apparently. So that kind of just puts things in perspective. They also probably have more body fat as well. So, hello, Liam. What do you say? At this point, this stream is just you showing off. Well, whatever. If that's what I want to do, then that's what I'm gonna do. But I thought, I'd just show the push-up form. Yeah, because that's like the proper way to do it. Tightening up the core and yeah, so that so you're not like arching your lower back. Yeah. So arching the lower back is, well, I was showing off a bit, but whatever, yeah. Sometimes we just need a bit of validation, I guess. I don't know. Hope everyone's had a good day anyway. Let's get this shared out if you can. I'll probably be going soon anyway. You had a great day. That's good to hear then. What have you been up to? Yeah. Praise be to God. Okay, cool. Let's get 10 likes. Got 2 more to go. So I'll probably stay until I get to like 10 likes and something. Yeah. What's that? NTY? Sorry. What does that mean? One more for me. What? One more what? Sorry. I don't know. It seems like you weren't too happy about me doing, but you should give me one more like of you or something. That's showing off. So I can't really tell like what people are like, what people are saying. So sometimes it comes across differently to what they were intended on. If you get me. Or 10 now. It says 9 on my end, but yeah. For some reason it shows 10 on the other end. But okay. Anyway. It says we've got 6 people in here. How are we doing tonight, everyone? I hope you're all well. What's that? It did the MB. I don't know. Yeah, it says 9 on my end, but anyway. But whatever. I think because I haven't liked my own live, but I don't usually bother to like my own lives. Like, I'm not that kind of narcissistic. I'm kind of a bit narcissistic sometimes, but not that bad to like my own damn lives. I don't know. But whatever. It says it's down to 8 now, whatever. But I'm doing good. That's good to hear then. I'm glad you're doing well. I think someone's messing around. I don't know. Whatever, Probably some troll or something. But yeah, so I have to like learn to have gratitude and just trying to appreciate what we have. Because a lot of us don't realize that we already have so much in our lives. So when we're feeling like, oh, I'm not like doing well enough in life or whatever, well, got to think to yourself, there's people out there that are far worse off. So but then, focus on the things that you can do to, improve your life. Try not to focus on the things you can't change. I know it's easier said than done, but what else are you supposed to do? I mean, I have no problem with whatever sexuality somebody is. Okay, so if you had a son, how do you want your son to grow up to grow as? What do you mean? Do you mean like what they're gonna do for a living, or what do you mean? You say, okay, so if you had a son, how do you want your son to grow as? You mean what do you want them to grow up to be, or something like that? I don't know. I don't quite get what you're saying, but maybe just elaborate a bit more on that or something. Um, yeah. Xander says good. Okay, why is that? Because you're one or something, or just wondering, or I don't know. Why did you bring that up? So I have no problem with like whatever. We've just all got to respect each other, no matter like what we are. We're all different. Be like boring if everyone was the same. Oh, you are. All right. It's funny because I remember when I first met Richard, I thought he was gay or something. It was just I don't know. I don't know if he took a bit of offense to that or something. It's just he had a certain kind of mannerism about him. I don't know. Maybe it's just his kind of like I don't know. It's just like some people have a certain kind of thing about them that's like. But then there's some straight people that kind of give off that sort of vibe, but it's like that can be a bit misleading. If you had a son, how would you want your son to be like? I think I want them to have a level of discipline and show them like the right way, like with health and fitness and things like that. Encourage them to become healthy and fit, and yeah, teach them like discipline, teach them um, life skills, and become like maybe try and get them to become self sufficient or something. And I think would be good, wouldn't it? It'd be great. I at some point want to start looking into growing food. And it'd be good if I had a family and we could all like grow food together and stuff. So I could have like family like working on like the crops and stuff and helping out with that. So they'd be teaching them how to do that. And it would help on the like watering plants, digging up vegetables, things like that. Because it's probably good to get them to get their hands dirty and get them having a connection to the earth. I think is something good. Welcome back, Kyle. So I think we should be trying to connect to the earth more. But I remember there was this thing about I don't know if this is going to become a thing soon, but was these like robot fruit pickers or something? I don't know. Sounds a bit kind of I don't know. Is it actually practical? I don't know, but imagine that every single some people reckon that every single job, every single task can be done by robots at some point. What do you think about that? I'm growing pumpkins, rhubarb, potatoes. I hope at least I don't know anymore, and some other stuff. Yeah, I was looking into no dig potatoes because you can use what was it? You can use like I think it was straw or something as like a sort of yeah to grow them. Hello, legendary. I think you can like use wood chips as well if I remember. You might be able to use wood chips. Someone actually tried using leaves, but it wasn't very efficient. But there are some ways of doing it that are more efficient, and because some of them they didn't really get very good sized potatoes. For what? It's got a thing called no dig potatoes. So what you do is you just like plant the seed potatoes, and then you just bury them in some like you can put it in, you can put like straw or whatever in it, and it's gonna like because it needs something to cover it so the sunlight doesn't get to it and destroys it. Well, it needs sunlight, but it would use like that as like a way of yeah, blocking some of it or something like that. The point is to make it it's just an easier way of doing it instead of having to like take all your time and effort to try and dig it all out. That all you have to do is just kind of when it's ready, you just pull them out of the straw or whatever. So I've seen some videos on it and it makes sense. Yeah, so it's just a more but there are some ways of doing it that are better than others. Some ways you would get these tiny little potatoes that are kind of meh. But yeah, I've been watching some like different videos. Like, I remember there was this thing on like regrowing the carrot greens. If you chop the end off and then you can just keep regrowing them. You just put like if you can get one of those like carrots or something. I don't know, like. But could you actually regrow the ones that you can get in the shops or something? Or are they already dead or something? I don't know how it all works, but whether you could just chop off a um, shop carrots. You can't do that, can you? So it has to be like a one that with the greens on it or something. That way you can just keep regrowing them. Just stick it in and you just like. So the shop ones can't regrow, right? Yeah, I remember watching a video on like reproducing a friggin' pineapple, and there's a whole like process of it, but and apparently it is possible in this country, but you have to make sure to put it in a warm environment in winter though, because otherwise it's just going to end up dying off. Needs to be specifically bolts to be grown, yeah. So it's going to have the greens on it or something. Yeah. I've heard basil's supposed to be quite easy to grow. But yeah, a lot of these like greens are quite easy to grow. I've heard chilies are pretty easy to grow as well. So there's a few ones that people could just get started with where they don't require too much work, and you can just get like yeah. But and some things you could grow like in a window, but yeah, peppers, yeah. You're talking like chili peppers or just like bell peppers or something, or like really easy, right? Yeah, I remember someone was like growing marrows and stuff like that. I think he grown like tomatoes as well, or bell peppers, right? Do they actually taste like the ones you get in the shops, or do they taste even better or something? Oh yeah, rhubarb, right? Yeah, make rhubarb and custard and whatever. Yeah, remember those sweets called rhubarb and custard, and they're like a kind of sour sweet or something. Possibly biased, but better. All right, really. I remember when I tasted a carrot that had been grown fresh, and it was like a lot better than the stuff in the shops. I remember just a lot fresher and probably a lot more nutrients in it as well when you grow it yourself. So all the stuff they get in the shops, it's just a lot of it's forced grown. It's just like yeah, inorganic fertilizers and stuff like that. So I've heard a lot of those don't take up a lot of nutrients, especially if it's like GMO and stuff like that. Carrots are just better homegrown. Yeah. Remember tomatoes as well. They're better homegrown as well. A lot of stuff is really. Yeah. I remember my grandma used to have like cress in a like plastic thingy. or whatever it was. It was like a pot. You just put it in the window. It would grow. You could see it growing like from like nothing. Never tried tomatoes. Yeah, I was looking at it. It looks a bit complicated to do. You need like to have certain equipment for it. It does look a bit more tricky, but it might be worth it in the long run. But some people put like them in a cage because they can get quite like the vines. It can get quite tangled up and stuff. So having a cage would just like keep it from doing that sort of thing. My grandfather had an apple tree in his back garden. By the gods, they were the best. Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of apple trees in York where I live. And I was actually picking some in like when they were ready and stuff. The canned tomatoes need braces, etc. Yeah, so it's a bit more messing around, but yeah, you can get a lot of production off them though. Like literally like hundreds of them. But yeah, I remember next door back where I used to live in Blackburn, they used to have apples, pears, plums, and cherries on a tree. So yeah, it's a good amount of stuff really. Yeah, they're good produce. Sometimes they'll they even give us some. I think well, they give us some to my grandma. I mean, she used it to make some like I think she made some like crumble out of it or something like that. Yeah, like plum crumble or whatever. But yeah, you could just like get like apricots or something. I don't know if you could grow them here or something. Apricots, and you'd put the seeds in or something. And apricots are quite nice, aren't they? I mean, it's like peaches and stuff, but yeah. Well, I guess they could all be grown. I don't know, but um, yeah, like because you could just like let's see how long it takes to grow those things. Peach, how long to grow from seed? It says 3 to 5 years, so it's not exactly. Yeah, it says to produce fruit, it can take 3 to 5 years. You don't think you can? Right, you have to look into that then. I think peach you can, can't you? I don't know. But it might not be as good though, even if you can. But what else would there be like? Yeah, so apricot. Um, long, how long to harvest? 3 to 4 years. Hello, Tommy. How you doing? Um, fastest growing fruit. Let's have a look. Fastest growing fruit is papaya, which can produce fruit from seed in as little as 9 to 12 months. For home gardeners, strawberries and autumn fruiting raspberries are also among the quickest, often bearing fruit in the first year after planting. Feeling fine, you look great today. Okay, thank you. Just looking at yeah. The thing is, you can't really grow papaya in the UK, can you? I don't know. Papaya. Can can you grow papaya in UK? It says you can, but you require special care because they are a tropical plant that is not frost hardy. The best approach is to grow them in pots that can be moved indoors or into a greenhouse during the winter to protect them from frost. Yeah. Yeah, apparently 9 to 12 months for papaya. So, but I don't know if that's in the UK. Maybe it takes longer in the UK. I don't know. How long to grow papaya in UK? Well, it says 6 to 12 months to produce fruit. The fuck? Let's see, from seed. Not incubation, but you know what I mean, right? Okay. 9 months to 12 to a year or more. It says growing a papaya from seed in the UK is challenging due to the climate, and it can take 9 months to a year. Or take care, Zeal. Zeal can have a good one. Stay safe. Hope to see you again soon. If anybody's new here, please subscribe to the channel. To produce a fruit, if at all, even under ideal indoor conditions, while papayas can be grown from seed, successful fruiting in the UK is unlikely because the plant requires a warm, subtropical, frost-free climate that the UK does not provide outdoors. However, you can grow them as container plants for their foliage in the summer, bringing them indoors before the first frost. So, yeah, it says fruiting's unlikely in the UK, which is unfortunate, really, isn't it? But yeah, it shows 11 on my end, but yeah. Anyway. Oh, well, that's a shame. But yeah, a lot of the tropical fruits are hard to grow, if at all, here. Whereas in some countries, like, you can grow a lot more different varieties of fruit because of better climates and stuff. But we tend to be better at growing things like berries and stuff like that. They tend to do better in like cooler environments and stuff, more wet environments. Yeah, thank you guys for helping me with the likes and stuff. Yeah, cool. Yeah. Yeah, any more questions before I go? Well, I think some of the healthiest fruits actually do grow in like these environments. Like I said, berries are some of the healthiest fruits out there. I suppose they all have their own benefits, but yeah, but berries, especially like things like elderberries and stuff like that, full of like antioxidants and what have you. There's a thing about like fruits that grow in um, more harsh environments tend to have more antioxidants and things to deal with that. I have a pot of unowned land that is like pure blackberries, so I can confirm the berries. Also a couch there, or really a plot of unowned land. So how have you got a plot of unowned land? Is it like adverse possession or something, or what? Like there's a thing called adverse possession where someone could just go and take over land that's been abandoned or something. Hello, Eba D. How you doing? Hope you're well. Because I was actually thinking about doing something like that, either that or a house, like an abandoned house, and then just I could just claim it as mine. But apparently, it can take 10 to 12 years. So, is it worth it? You have to send a lot of documents to prove that you are acting as the owner and all that. It's right beside my house. Okay, fair enough. I remember there was like that back when I used to live in Blackburn, but then someone I think took it over. They might have done adverse possession on that and claimed it as their own land. They even put a sign saying private land on it. So they must have done adverse possession on that or something because it was not owned by anybody. So I think after, say, 10 years or whatever it is, 12 years, then for like, if it's not registered land, it'll be 12 years, I think. Then they'll be able to claim that as their own land. And I suppose at that point they could just sell it or something if they want to. But I don't know. Yeah, I remember in that land there used to be this tree. I had this friend who had made a tree house when I was a kid. So some good memories from that. But yeah, but there's actually some bit of land around my dad's house, and it's like he's actually like put a kind of like extended his house a bit because he's like no one's like claimed that land. So yeah, so it's so that's good. He already had like pretty decent sized garden anyway, but he's made it even a little bit bigger. Why not? You know? Anyway. Also, you should make like a vlog type thing where you grow stuff or some sort of like outdoorsy thing. Yeah, I was thinking about stuff like that. I was thinking about getting some like stones and making art pieces and selling it, but I could try and vlog some of that. I don't know. Hello, James Scott. Yo, I have to go even though I just got here, but I'm really, really, really sick and threw up a lot. Okay, well, you take care and hope you get well soon. So, yeah, I guess it's that time of year again. People are getting bugs and stuff. So, yeah, it would be sick. It's just, I've just been a bit negative about things and thinking, like, who the hell would buy my shit and why would I even be good enough to even be selling that kind of shit kind of thing? I don't know. So I'd have all these thoughts and stuff, but I don't know. Thinking about like what could maybe I could do some like arty kind of stuff and then sell that, but I don't know. Can be a bit tough. If you like it, try it. Yeah, that's what it is, isn't it? Yeah. If it works, do it. That's what she said. Hope everyone's well tonight. What time we're on? It's nearly 10 p.m. So yeah. I was thinking about getting a bit of land and just getting a static caravan or something and putting that on or something like that. Um, I am. Or what do you mean? Will you be streaming tomorrow? I should be, all being well. So yeah, so I was thinking about maybe getting like a static caravan or something like that. You could get them quite cheap, but it's just getting some land. So if I can get some land, I could maybe like grow. I could maybe even start growing food on that. But I could do solar power. That could be something to share at some point. But yeah, that's something I'm thinking about for the future. So I gotta think about like how am I gonna power the thing? I gotta make sure I get power. Like, um, yeah. So I have to look at how to like. So I could maybe get some solar panels or something. But apparently, if you've got like excess solar power or something, you can get a bit of money from that. But it's not necessarily very much. Like if I put in how much can you make a year from excess solar power? I feel like a caravan isn't the fullest potential, but seems fun if you do. Yeah, I guess it depends on like what you want out of life. It's just like I don't know. It's like a static caravan. Not talking like a regular caravan, but like some static caravans can have like 2 or 3 bedrooms in them. They're not as big as like a regular house, but I don't need it really. So, well, it says here you can make between approximately £34 to £595 per year from excess solar power, though this varies significantly based on your system size, how much energy you export, and your electricity supplier's tariff rate under the Smart Export Guarantee (SEG) scheme. A typical household might earn around 50 to 200 pounds annually, with some newer tariffs paying 22p to 35p per kilowatt hour. So yeah, that it's not gonna make you a whole lot, but I guess it's a way of like paying off the price of the solar power. So that if you can, sell some of it into the grid, then it's kind of like passive income, isn't it? It's not going to be much. You'd have to have a solar farm for it to really rack up, but there's regulations around that. As in, you can't just set up a solar farm and generate a ton of profit. You have to go through all the rigmarole, the regulations and stuff. But yeah, that's the only problem, really, isn't it? Um, what? Sorry, I'm talking about regulations around starting a solar farm to as a way to sell it. You would sell it all into the grid. So if you had some land and let's say you turned it into a solar farm, it's just there's concerns about if everyone started doing that, then it would just turn all this green belt land into just solar farms everywhere, which would just destroy nature, wouldn't it? So I can understand why there would be regulations around things like that because it wouldn't be good if there were just solar farms everywhere. So it'd be better if there's houses there and stuff. So yeah. Um yeah. But yeah, it might cost, let's say, a certain amount of money for the solar panels and then but I'm getting free power once I've bought it. So and then if I've got excess I can just sell that into the grid. It depends because but yeah, it's not gonna be like might only earn you like a few quid a month, maybe something like that. Maybe like 10 quid a month, something like that. It's better than nothing, eh? Because for some people, that's probably how much they would be. But maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, you'll probably like save. Let's say if someone say was using 50 quid a month on power, but then and then they maybe earn a few quid on top of that by selling the excess. Well, 595 would almost be 500. Sorry, 50 a month nearly, but it's unlikely that you'd be making that much. Um, it says here that about a medium household, £30 to £82.50 per year. Yeah, plus solar panels can be quite cheap, so you could make it back quite well. Yeah, depends. I remember they were quite expensive when it could take years to make it back, but I do actually have a solar generator and I haven't really got around to using it yet. So it's not going to give you that much power, but it can charge up your phones and things like that. So it could save you money in the long run. But it can eventually become worn down. Like after a few years, the battery starts to apparently become less efficient and stuff. But yeah, solar panels. How long till they pay for themselves? Let's have a look. See what it says on that. It says it can be at 6 to 12 years. So yeah, that's the only thing with them, really, isn't it? It says it can be shorter if you have a high electricity usage pattern like that during daylight hours, which you can improve with battery storage or Um, I mean, so it says in here some like total system costs £8,000, annual electricity savings £1,000, annual export income £300, total annual savings £1,300. So then it would be like estimating 6.15 years. Hi Heavenly, good to see you again. How are you doing? Hope you're well tonight. Hi Kyle, welcome back. So it's probably going to take you just over 6 years on average to to pay it off, but which can be a bit of a long time. But you got to think about the long run, I guess. Once you've paid for all that, then you get in like a sort of like your own self sufficient energy source as opposed to relying on the grid. Because a good thing is if say like the grid shuts down, then you're all good. Because well, if say like your energy provider shuts down, something could happen. But if you've got solar panels, then you're self sufficient. It's like say with food, right? If you grow your own food, you have more control over it. So if anything happened to say like the food um, industry or whatever, and shit went down for some reason, supply chain issues or whatever, then you're a bit more protected when you grow your own food. So it can be good for that. Not just the fact that you're saving money, but the fact that it can protect you from like any shortages or anything like that. Especially if you grow quite a lot. But yeah. Hello Naomi, how you doing? Okay. So I'm probably gonna be getting off soon. Any more questions before I go? So yeah, it can take you a few years to pay off the cost of solar panels. I'd argue that that's probably better than, like, for example, if I was to put my money into instead put that money into like a index fund, whatever I was making on that, let's say I'm putting like, let's say my annual costs were £1,000, let's say, and it cost me, let's say, £8,000 or something for I don't know, but I guess it depends how quickly you can save all that money up. But if you're taking 6 years to pay that off or so, then and if you put in 8,000 into like a index fund, how much money could you have made in that time? Sort of thing. That's the just something I was thinking, like sort of you might be up to about, I don't know, trying to work it out really, but how much would you be making a month off that by that time? Probably like, I don't know, 8,000 you put in. Well, you're probably going to be making about maybe 700 or so per year, let's say. But it can go up over time. But it's not guaranteed, though. That's the thing. It's not a guaranteed way of making money. But having something like, being self sufficient, it's a secure way to like reduce your costs of living and stuff like that and be self sufficient. Because you could like, yeah, it's like 1,300 per year. If you, well, it depends, but yeah, there's different factors and stuff really. But if you're using a lot of energy and you can export some energy out and stuff, then they buy it up from you. But it's kind of like if you get a mortgage or something, then yeah, in the short term, you're going to be worse off financially, but then the long term, you're going to be like probably going to be so much better off once you've got to a point where you've paid for that house and you're now like mortgage free. You also have the equity from that as well, so which you could sell it and then get the value of the property, and over time, a lot of properties even go up in value. It's not only you getting that property value, but it goes up over time. Inflation proof in a lot of cases, even going beyond that, most of the time going well beyond the inflation rate. And yeah, so that's, but of course, there's downsides to buying a house as well. Like, if you buy your own house, you do have more responsibilities and stuff like that. It does mean that you're going to be tied to that house pretty much. So if you're planning on moving around, then don't think buying a house is necessarily the best idea. This is not financial advice; it's just my opinion. But yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna get going. I think, especially if you start gaining after you've equaled it out. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's it. Hello, Mike. Sorry, Nike. How's it going? Hello, Haley. Good to see you. How you doing tonight, everyone? Yeah, I was just talking about, if I got myself like a static caravan or some type of thing like that and have solar panels on it and stuff and produce my own electric or something, I'll take care, Xander. Have a good one. So things like that I could do in the future. I was like, even saying maybe I'll grow food at some point. I can't actually grow it here right now. I mean, I could get myself an allotment, but I'd rather, if I'm going to grow food, I'd rather do it from my own place. Hello, Tom. How you doing? Good to see you. How's everybody doing tonight? It's good to see some of the regulars in here tonight. So yeah. All right, Pedro, welcome back. Yeah, yeah. Cool. Yeah, it's good to see you all. That's good to hear, Toms. Yeah. But yeah, there's just a lot of stuff to think about really, but yeah. All right, Squirrel, how you doing? Yeah. Sounds good, but sounds like it would be expensive to start off with, yeah. Yeah, because solar panels can be quite expensive to start with. But I was actually looking on Facebook Marketplace, and there's some people giving like cheap caravans away. So, but it's the land that would be the most expensive part if I had to put it on a piece of land or something. Um, I was actually looking into like even putting it in a friggin' woodland or something, but they can be expensive. Those though would be nice though, living in the woods or something. Put it in on some woodland or something like that. Um, but if you do have land, again, it's equity. I mean, land value goes up generally quite, sort of. Yeah, yeah, land's not cheap. Yeah, it's better if you've got like a few people to do it, but then they could start getting a bit annoyed if you have like say 5, 10 people on a piece of land and they all have properties on it or something. So I shouldn't bother now. The government have officially said that, or geoengineering. All right. Yeah. What do you mean? I mean, yeah, I know they've obviously admitted to all that, but it's like what we're supposed to do, just kind of give up or something. I mean, what people saying about like, oh, like, what's the point of organic food when it's like the geoengineering stuff? Well, still probably going to be better than all the other crap. I don't know, but you would need a way of moving it. Yeah, I'd have to try and find someone to help me out. I'm sure someone would be able to help me out then, right? Yeah, surely somebody would be able to help me out. Or, but actually, I think you would need a lorry or something. So I'd probably have to then pay for someone to like drop it off or something. So we need to give them like clear instructions where to drop it off to. Yeah, but yeah, solar panels. Yeah, I suppose that's a bit of a problem, really. But it can still be a good one though if you can. It's probably going to be better if you're in a warmer climate, I guess, where there's less rain. Um, yeah, that's the only thing. In this country, we can be a bit of lack of sunshine sometimes. Panda, who's Panda? I don't know. Kung Fu Panda, remember that? I don't think I've ever watched it, but yeah. I've Jack Black as the voice on it or something. Well, you have solar panels, do you? Right. How much did they cost? Because apparently it can take between 6 to 12 years for them to pay for themselves or something. Do you like sell excess into the grid? Because apparently you can make like a bit of money selling the excess into the grid. So that's going to help for them to pay for themselves and in it. And then once they start paying for themselves, then you can just have like a bit of like bonus money then basically, can't you? Um, wave kinetic energy is the key, especially on an island. Or really, I've heard about like water wheels and different things, but how does wave kinetic energy work? Is that easy to set up or something? Would you actually be able to sell that into the grid then or not? I'm wondering if like, yeah, I'm in a housing association house, so didn't pay for them. All right, okay, all right. I thought you owned your own home or something, but yeah. So I guess like yeah, my gran bought hers and they weren't cheap. You know, I know. Well, I noticed they've been putting them on a lot of like council houses and stuff. So do you pay anything for like energy and stuff, or how much of it does it cover? Like, does it cover most of that, or is it not cover much of it? I'm just wondering, like, the waves create motion turned into electricity, right? Yeah, is that like wave power or something? But I remember there was like this water wheel energy kind of like system. Um, put it on running water or something, and it would cause it like a turbine. It would spin it around and generate electricity that way. Um, yeah, but I think there were some like scammy things out there as well. People pretending to like produce free energy, so you've got to be careful with that. Well, they have only been in a short space of time and haven't noticed a difference really yet. Oh, really? What do you mean? What do you mean, like usage or something, or what? And about the energy companies or something? I don't know. So how does the hydroelectric work? That was another one I remember, but anyway, I guess deserts would be quite good places to put friggin' solar panels, wouldn't they? As in, my electric bill is still high. Oh no, that's not good, is it? I guess you probably use it a lot, then it probably isn't gonna make a massive difference then or something. But then it makes you wonder if like they're scamming you or something. I don't know. A dam holds pressure, release pressure into turbines. Yeah. Well, we can't all just have that as like we can't just all have our own dam, can we? Yeah. I'm okay, thank you. Dams usually are hiding something else. What do you mean? Hi, Michael Yevgeny. How you doing? What does it matter about color? Thank you for 15 likes, everybody. The flood, the flood an area of great importance, right? Why does anything matter? Hmm. Yeah. Sometimes I think like that. Like why do we bother worrying about insignificant things? Anyway, hope everyone's well tonight. I'm gonna be going soon, but yeah. Like I guess it depends like on your usage and stuff. Like it can help like charge up phones and things like that, and maybe like put lights on and things like that. But yeah, if you've got like a few people in your family and you're using a lot of stuff, using computers a lot, using TVs a lot, appliances, etc., it all adds up, doesn't it? So it might only like reduce it like 10, 20%, something like that. So yeah. Hello, maths debater. Didn't someone else say that? Yeah, someone else said about that, so I think that you're trolling or something. Yeah, someone else already said that, so what's that all about? Some definitely adds up and what washing and cooking all the time too. Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Someone was saying about getting a refurbished iron. Someone literally earlier in another live said the same thing. I think it was a different name, so like if you same person or whatever. But okay, talking about how good their iron were or some shit. I don't think they really do it. Refurbish irons. It's not really something I would have thought of anyway. I don't like ironing, says Haley. All right. Yeah, yeah. I don't do ironing. Can't be asked. If people think anything of that, that's tough, in it? Sometimes I'll literally come on and my shirts are just like frigging creased and I don't give a fuck. If people want to, shame me for that, whatever, I don't give a fuck. It's not hurting anybody, is it? It's just like, just fucking creases, that's all. Big fucking deal. Sets its own temperature and steam. Yeah, yeah, they were saying that as well. Irons are cheap enough, so wouldn't thought you need a refurbished one though. Nah, sounds like a joke, doesn't it? It's like someone having a refurbished kettle or something. Yeah, yeah. I just bought a refurbished kettle. I just bought a refurbished blender. Yeah, yeah. You just have to take my word for it. I can't prove it to you. You just have to take my word for it. Um, yeah, yeah. Times are tough, guys. Yeah. I do enough washing as it is without ironing everything too. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's no, not for me. Like I can't see how anyone could just enjoy doing that shit. It's so tedious. I've tried doing it before, but I'm like, fuck this. Just be there all fucking day with it. I need to get a tumble dryer though with the Days getting colder. Oh yeah. You mean like it's yeah, to like yeah, because when it gets colder and you can't just hang them out to dry or whatever. Well, it takes longer, so yeah. Well, you could just like put them on a. I just put them on like what they call a clothes horse, and then I suppose when the heating comes on, it'll help. It'll just help them to dry out, but depends out on if you need them there and then yeah. Um, I don't think mine's a dryer. Some of them are like washer come dryer, and I don't mean come dryer. That would be something completely different. Um, yeah, yeah. Yeah, dried cum. It would end up looking like bird shit or something. Just a white stain. Washer, dryers, or crap. You're alright. Yeah, I suppose they're not going to be ideal. Usually, when something tries to like have too many like features, they're not that good at either. It's like, for example, I suppose then again, like you've got say a phone that can be a camera, and some of these phones are just as have just as good cameras as some of the cameras on the market. So I suppose sometimes it's better to have separate ones, yeah. But then they just end up taking up a bunch of space. Guess it depends how much space you've got. My grandma used to have a lean-to at the back to put her like laundry and stuff in that. And she used to have like a kind of like an ice box, whatever you call it, in there as well at one point. Because it would get quite cold out there in winter, so she would just like put stuff in that. I remember you usually just put cans out in the at the back, like winter time, because they'd literally get as cold as pretty much as they would in the frigging freezer. It would literally get below freezing in there at night time sometimes. So you would just bring it out when you want to drink it. But yeah, washer is in my kitchen, and my old dryer was outside in the shed, but have space in kitchen this time when I get one. That's good then. Yeah, as long as you got space and you're not trying to cram things in, and yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna get going, everybody. So take care, everyone. I'll see you all soon. All right. Bye for now.